Yo, fellas, today we got a big one on the table. Today, we're not just reacting to just any old review I've done on the channel, okay? For main channel nonsense, right? No. Today we are going to take a trip back in time, all right? So far back to where we're going all the way to the one that started it all right? Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Godforsaken Silver. Y'all ain't ready for this one. As y'all may see from the like to dislike ratio being definitely zoomed in on right now, this was definitely a controversial video to say the least. Mainly because I didn't really, criticize it much or anything. It's totally completely fine, guys. Don't stress about a damn thing, alright? We're reviewing this today because it's a bit of a celebration to the new one coming out very, very, very soon. And if you're watching this now, it's probably already happened. So today, we get to sit here and watch a complete and utter travesty. Alright, so where do I even begin with this one, like, genuinely speaking? You know, we're sitting here, 11K, this is just somehow not fallen off as much as it should have. You know, little whole once upon a time algorithm push or whatever. It's fine. You know, I've had nonsense hinting at the re-review soon, but this one here was compared to the amount of effort I put in everything else, this one, yikes. Okay, listen, let me tell you a little something, all right? Okay, let me put this in perspective. You know, I used the action replay codes, right? On a new save of the game. I, just got my Meganium before the first gym, because why the hell not? I remember specifically, I think I skipped past everything between then and, like, what, Chuck? Like, I skipped out so much of the game just, like, on purpose, just to, like, have background footage, right? It's not about, oh, have everything be perfectly well crafted like I am now. It's like, there's something, man. It's coming. And when it comes to that, sure, there's like, you could see a bunch of just like random battle footage, like Victory Road Rivals in here, Elite Four Round 2 from my Heart Gold Soul Silver save, like the actual fucking cartridge that, oh god, since then, that save just got nuked off the face of the earth for no reason. But let's just say, I think out of the amount of footage I recorded, it was like 2 or 3 hours tops. There was jack shit in there. Like, there was hardly a damn thing to be said. And, as y'all can see, there's just so much empty space with the screen layout like this that, like, more modern examples of, like, recording, as you can see from the editing now, I put one big old box on the left and a smaller one on the right, or reverse it in the case of like, a bottom screen oriented game. So that's basically the problem here. Like this, not very good. But this was the video that kicked off basically everything I wanted to do on the channel. I'm like, yo, this, hey, yo, yeah, this is some heat, even if it's like the worst thing I've ever produced. Anyways, let me turn up the volume quite a bit. Okay, good. It's at like slightly below my mic, so yeah, that'll be great. I put timestamps in like way after the fact. Clearly, there's like no transitions between these, so it's gonna be a little jarring when the ads decide to show up, but we'll ignore that for now. When brought into the discussion, voice, it sounds gross. I didn't understand how bad it sounded at first, but holy fucking shit, dude. It's bad. Let me tell you, dude. That sucks. Regarding what the definitive best Pokemon games are. I mean, this is like the one game brought up, though, to be fair, right? This was, if I recall correctly, in a post-Sword and Shield era. I don't remember if the DLC had fully released by this point. That is what I do know about this. This was the same year BDSP came out, and, oh boy, yikes on that one, man. Big fucking yikes on that. But yeah, to put it into perspective, there were only 18 Pokemon games at the time, alright? There's not 21 of them like there are now. You'll hear quite a few answers. However, there's one answer. There's just so much delay between words, by the way. Obviously, my little gimmick I try to aim for on YouTube now with these kind of videos is like, I cut out basically any dead space possible at all, because it makes getting to points way faster and just waste your time less. Kind of a bit more annoying when it comes to like trying to like take in a point or whatever, because like you don't feel like it gets the amount of time that it probably should have, but holy fuck, it's just so slow. I'm just so slow, dude. It appears more than the rest do. Yo, Sword and Shield. Also, those two just appeared on screen for like a fraction of a second. Answer. It appears. Like, what is that? Like, what am I aiming for, little bro? What are you doing? Anyway, Sword and Shield was obviously just trolling. Like, I don't need to explain that part. I'm covering up Emerald right now. It's whatever. It's fine. And then Black and White too. Points on this though, No, probably if I'm gonna like throw games on screen and be like, yo, these are the top ones, right? Keep Sword and Shield for funnies. Keep Black and White too. Emerald, while it definitely is worth mentioning, I feel like Platinum just fits more. There's more than the rest do. And that is Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Just the not Diesel Let's Go, by the way. Base. As the 10th mainline installment in the series. Oh god, I hate this. Oh, but as the biggest intro for a game that you already know of, let's talk about which entry of the game it is as a bit of an introduction, alright? It's just so unnecessary. If it's a remake, mention it's a remake. If whatever, fine, dude. You don't need to go on with which numbers. Series out of the 18 installments available as of April 2021. It sounds awful! Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are not available yet. Yo, yeah. Not like that mattered one bit. Oh, what a flop. Anyways, yo, you'd probably ask, why? Is it nostalgia? Maybe. Yo, true, by the way. First off, bad game. Get used to this footage right here. Because one thing I did on my, like, old timeline when I was editing this, it's like I just grabbed all the footage, I just slapped it all in the fucking timeline at once, and just started slowly but surely when editing, picking through pieces, all this other nonsense, and what it was doing was, like, because this had to change with PLA, because I had some major fucking problems trying to do that again for that game, but I had everything on one timeline, so I was, like, never, like, ever had to worry about, like, putting duplicate footage on screen, except for this part right here. We see this again just randomly thrown in later, and it's slowed down as well just to fit a gap of time. Yeah, nice, man. Real nice. Quality gameplay? Well... No. Kinda. Kinda. This game hurts, man. It's tough. That's what we're here to break down today. Break down. No, this isn't a breaking down. This is me nitpicking most of the game's flaws and then slowly sometimes sprinkling in positives. This was not a critique. This was just me being extremely mean and unfair. Listen, the title, it's not technically wrong per se. Because, like, if the Johto games initially were super flawed and this game, like, left a lot of those intact, I mean, by default, it technically is one of the most flawed games, if not the most. But, like, with how much it does right, it's like, ooh, what are you doing, brother? What are you up to? We're gonna look at these games under a critical eye and break down the games. Guys, because I said it's a critical perspective, right? That gives me more credibility, okay? Y'all have to understand. This is like that one tier list video on the channel, by the way. See, guys, this is like this tier list right here. I put objectively in the title, okay? It makes me significantly more credible. Y'all have to understand here. It's very important detail to think about. Anyways, it's enough to determine if they should even be in conversation for the best games. Conversation, again, I think it's a no. But under the right perspective, it can be warranted. Again, watch the new video to figure that out. Anyways, somebody left their mouse on screen. I've stated on this channel before these games are kinda not great. The tier list video, obviously. But, like, that's just unnecessary. Like, that's just unnecessary to mention. It's really not important at all. So, without further ado, it's time I back up my claim. And you do it poorly. Listen, any game that I should warrant, like, backing up whatever I'm saying about it, honestly, it's not this one. It's PLA, man. So, the best place to start... Transition, by the way. Just, this is a remake. Yo, yeah. When talking about these games is to remind everyone, this is a remaster of our third mainline installments to... It's a remake, not like a remaster remake. Again, there's a lot of different nuances and shit that come into, like, trying to figure out what's what and how you describe which. Dude, we're actually never gonna be able to, like, edit, like, a single gap of time out at all. I just keep stopping on everything. Sorry. But here in particular, it's like, what was my point again? I already forgot. Sorry, I have bad short-term memory. I got distracted. These games is to remind everyone, this is a remaster of our... Oh, yeah, right. The whole remake thing. Yeah. Fuck, I'm drawing a blank. So, the best place to start when talking about these games is to remind everyone... Oh yeah, the remake, remaster nuance, discussion. Yeah, if anything, this is not like a remake as I said it, a remaster like I said it was. This is a remaster of our third main... Like, it's not a remaster per se, right? It's definitely a remake, because they did a lot more different. Like, if you look at BDSP, though, you could argue that's a remaster. You could. Not, like, in the same vein, because, you know, changes and whatnot, but this... Wow, what a great choice of words, me. Good job. Mainline installments to the series. Pokemon Gold and Silver. It just flashes on screen. I do fade-ins now, like, all the time, and there's a good reason for it. I like doing the little whoop images there, right? I liked doing that. I think I did it in Sword and Shield, but like it doesn't work that well. Mainly if you're not like centering things like that was centered, obviously. But like the lack of a transition makes that feel rough. Again, the same applies to the stuff from earlier, but I guess they're outside the little let's go thing because it just came in immediately after the others disappeared. So whatever. So far, editing, bad. No way. Who would have seen that one coming if y'all watched any of my other reaction videos to my own content? Whoa, crazy. And at the same time, they sprinkled in a few changes from the fourth game. The little stutter when saying sprinkled, yeah. They sprinkled, yo, yeah. It's called Edit the Stumbles Out. Fourth generation of Pokemon. So the games will feel a lot like the games that released in the same generation as these ones have. God, that just sounds bad. Anyway, guys, the Chikorita nickname, subscribe, by the way. Yeah. Because you guys need to subscribe to that channel and this one right now. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Of course, being Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. Like, I'm talking so slowly that, like, I'm never getting to points. That's the big problem. Like, this could easily be trimmed down by 2 minutes just from, like, spacing between words alone. Flat out. This intro, like, this whole beginning section has been terrible. Basically having the same mechanics as in those games. And some of the worst pacing. Great. It would have been a phenomenal idea if I had mentioned that sooner. Gee, if only if that was like one of my actual talking points instead of just an edit I'm throwing in because I did not mention it. You know, I did the rough draft and that's what I recorded and then barely edited anything for audio. Anyway, why we're editing in items right now, I couldn't tell you. Evolutions for old Pokemon. And the new physical special split. Oh, yeah. I'm glad that we're doing all this now. Look how short this section's been, by the way. Like, half of this has just been me trying to get to the damn point. Guys, it's Gen 4, so now we got all this. Good, congrats. This is not nearly everything mentioned, but hey, you know what? It's an honest attempt. It's a shame this text is the way it is. I need to, like, do text with drop shadow, by the way. That's one of my biggest sins, is that I still don't do drop shadow on a lot of my stuff. I gotta fix that at some point. Then it makes, like, displaying things over, like, gameplay and whatnot a lot easier. That was featured in Generation 4. Of course, featuring other things like a few new characters. Whoa, new characters! Almost like you should have shown that filler character of a pseudo-rival, but not actually because you never battled them. Gee whiz, man, you should have showed that piece of shit off. Improved Pokemon Learn sets. It's almost like that's a given, so I don't ever have to mention it. Extra routes, updated footage, new sprites. Oh, fuck! Guys, new Meganium sprite just dropped. New Meganium sprite dropped. On God. Oh my fucking God, what a big deal. And a pretty good soundtrack. Pretty good. You know what? It's fine. It's okay. Why are we getting to the Zubat nickname? What's the point? But of course we gotta break this stuff down. And you don't do it. It's bad. So let's start at the place this game is set. The Johto region. So, as you'd expect, this is brutal. We're already in the next section. There's just a big gap of time there. Again, no screen transitions, just the Zubat just getting its nickname, guys. Don't stress, all right? This has been on screen for more than 5 seconds, all right? Very important detail. It's not the transition to something new. This was already on screen before the transition happened to Johto region and story. Also, wait, talking about the story in the beginning, nobody cares about the story in the beginning. Can we at least get that idea drilled down? Nobody cares. From a remake of the Johto region itself is mostly the same as it was 10 years. It's shit. What is this on Newburgh Town? This is like a Paint 3D, like random fucking error. Like this little circle here, this sometimes shows up when I'm like just copying it into that to save it. I don't know why this pops in, but it's here. I easily could just like, I don't know, save the image again, done something different. No. It's fine. Guys, look, it's okay. Look, don't even make sure the image is like not the way I downloaded it as, all right? Very important detail. Years ago in Gold and Silver, Game Freak was a little unnecessary breathing, by the way. By how much you'd hear me talk on like main channel nowadays. You would think I don't do that at all. But yikes, it's just too slow. It's just too slow. That's gonna be one of my complaints from like here to the end. Too faithful here. Too faithful, yo, truer words have never been spoken. As it was in the old, the game is basically no story of true. The Team Rocket's trying to rebuild themselves after disbanding in the events of Pokemon Red, Blue, Fire Red. That's the story, guys. There's no mention of the rival. We're really gonna pick the Team Rocket stuff, the weakest part of the story the game has. Come on, what am I doing? Leaf green. Subscribe and like, by the way. Yo, yeah. That's the whole gimmick with the name theming, by the way. I need y'all to know to hit those buttons. Yo, true story. And that's why I did it. Most notably here, the Team Rocket admins are their own characters now. Oh, they're characters? No way! That's crazy! Holy shit! No, which, it makes no difference. They have names now when you fight them in battle. Oh boy. They connect to the Fire Red Leaf Green post-game. Where, oh, they didn't have like names at all. Just remember that, guys. You look back, Archer's name was Team Rocket Admin. Again, a nice little fan service. But it's not. It's not. They didn't even have unique character models. They look the same as the other grunts. Sadly, the game's climax is the same as it was. Right? Is. Almost like I could have cut out the and one of the ises, you know? That could have been way better. Peeking at Team Rocket taking over a radio tower in order to bring Giovanni back to them. And it sucked! And yeah, that's it. It was bad. They had a few other things going on in the region. Not that they really mattered that much. He doesn't actually return. HGSS story was so insulting. But then he actually did return when it came down to the mystery gifts. Oh, fun! Except for some mystery gift stuff, but that's in the past, not the present. It actually is in the present. It's a good thing I caught on to that detail when it came down to the new re-review and whatnot. It's a good thing I pointed out that it actually is happening in the present. It's just the thing that's insulting the most about the story. It's like, oh, we're doing this. Oh, you're fighting him, but it's happening at the exact same time, and it's still like mystery gift. You still have like the trash plot and then the content people want, but the content people want just like it's still not good. It sucks, man. Basically meaning the most climactic part of the game is still lame. True, and the most climactic part of the game is actually just... There is no hype here, considering Team Rocket fails before even succeeding in their biggest goal. Yeah, just to make sure, like, when I say succeeding in their biggest goal, I mean at least, like, halfway succeeding, right? Like, Cybers getting the fucking red chain to, like, get Dialga and Palkia to show up in Platinum, right? Like, when the whole castle bullshit with the Legendary and whatnot in Gen 5 with Black and White 1. You know, some kind of pseudo setup, right? Technically, Lysander fires the ultimate weapon. He doesn't get what he wants, but, like, he's got that going for him. It's like, all that stuff. They don't even get that privilege. It just sucks. Whereas, let's say in Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, and then I'm making the comparison. At least they whip something out. Whoa. At least people have an idea on what I'm trying to mean with that, right? At least. Or Diamond and Pearl. Or even to an extent, X and Y. To an extent. Yes, technically it's to an extent. But on the other hand, man, I mean, it's definitely a little bit lesser than these two in that regard. But like, who cares? Why am I arguing like just nitpicking nonsense? Like, this isn't even like relevant. Their evil team leaders did succeed by the time the players stopped them. But in the case of that last one, it happens last second. Why does the X and Y plot even matter to mention down here? Why does this matter? You can debate, by the way. Anyway, wow, there's a lack of typos. Lucky me. That's good at least. But, yeah, who cares? Also, just the random footage speed up there. Yo, yeah. I saw that. I saw that, alright? It happens last second, but... Why? I just sit through all the footage normally, and that's just me holding the damn tab bar down in Desmume. It's not even subtle. Yeah, who cares? Anyways. Oh yeah, who cares? Gee, it's almost like I brought up the entire point. He cannot write videos to save his life. And to think, this is what people's first impressions of this channel could have been, which would suck in that case. The most climactic part of the game, in this case, is very underwhelming. Why are we still on this point? Again, the story, can we mention the rival? Can we, I don't know, mention Kanto? This is where these games being remakes could... This is... Then he continues, yeah, good job, man. They've improved the story, but they preserved the legacy instead. Anyways, story aside, it's just so unnecessarily slow, I'm sorry. This is tragic. The Johto region itself got a few improvements, most notably an extension west of Cianwood City. story, by the way. I mean, technically it's the Johto and story because the little timestamp says, but why are we here right now? There was still no mention of the rival, by the way, and there's not going to be mention of the rival. Let me just go ahead and spoil the news for you now. This sucks! Featuring 2 routes in a Safari Zone, the latter being this game's biggest redeeming quality. No, the Safari Zone in theory is supposed to be the redeeming quality. The time-based mechanics just completely fucking ruin this. I'm sorry, I gotta say it, man. Ain't nobody got time for that stuff. Yeah, let me sit here and wait 3 months to get insert Pokemon here to spawn. Stop. However, Johto isn't this game's only setting. No way! Who would have seen that one coming? It's almost like it's a remake! Because as it was in Gold and Silver, Kanto was brought back just like in those games. And it's much better than those games. Why am I really just go watch the video. Good lord, go watch the original one. I don't need to sit here and nitpick like all this stuff right now. Oh, yeah, it's fine, guys. Don't stress, okay? It's just like in that. Believe me, all right? And again, there's still no footage of Kanto, by the way. We've not had a lick of footage from the Kanto arc whatsoever. Did I even go to Kanto when recording? I think I did Mount Moon Rifle, but I don't actually remember. Which is a lot, because I don't ever remember getting a lick of footage in Kanto at all. We'll probably see some later, but like... where is it? I mean, it's like, I literally just have Mount Silver, and that's quite literally it. I didn't even get footage into Kanto. All right. Well, now we know how lazy the footage fetching really was. I still think this should be, like, in a separate section, probably, like, in terms of, like, the game's, like, replayability section and whatnot, if we're really going to organize this better. What could have been summarized as a single minute of plot. Not even, like, 1 minute. It should have been, like, 30 seconds tops. This is just ridiculous. I'm sorry. I never realized just how butt-fuckingly bad it was. Most notably, Cerulean Cave, Viridian Forest, and the Seafoam Islands actually returned from Red, Blue, Yellow, Fire Red, and Leaf Green. No way! After being cut. For some reason, this part of the game still takes 2 to 3 hours, even if you're slow about it. Why does that matter? It, like, Kanto was not changed, other than the amount of grinding you may or may not have to do. Like, there is no new extra content you're forced to do. That is such a non-point. There is, like, no reason to focus on that at all. Sorry, I'm getting heated. My apologies. I'm getting too heated over this nonsense. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. Anyways, kind of a problem. It's not a problem! Well, the regions themselves improve, but not by too much. How about you just say, well, the regions are slightly better, but still bad. It's not that hard to say it, right? I think it's time to get to the meat of the video, the gameplay. I don't know what the deal was. It's like, if I recall correctly, I did have this mic when I recorded this. I'm about to look up some dates. Hold on. Amazon, don't fail me now. Okay, I had to look back at it. Yes, I actually did have, my current mic by the time this video came out, by the way, and it was all recorded. Why it sounds that bad? I couldn't possibly tell you. It's just a me problem, I guess. Because, dear Lord, this part is a mess. It is, but you could also say it a little more pep, you know? A little bit more pep. Like, one of my biggest gripes to the new video is, I just got kind of tired at the end, because I'm not gonna lie, I sat there recording for, like, a little over 2 hours just doing the voiceover, and it was bad. And by, like, the story section in the outro, you could kind of tell my enthusiasm's out the window. But here, in that case, I still had more pep with the new one than this. What? Why are you pointing this out? It doesn't matter! And I just threw that in when I'm not talking! Gameplay we need to quickly touch on, I mentioned earlier, but it's Generation 4's physical special split. Gee, I already mentioned it. Do I need to go in depth? No, actually I don't. But it was the first time I talked about it, so actually I do. Gengar, Sneasel, and Hitmonchan. Sneasel had good attack, and its stabs were both special. Gengar, both of its stab typings were physical in the older. Like, I showed Lamont's off, right? And then I'm not, like, showing the stat layouts, which is something I actually would do in modern day, because, I want my videos to look presentable. But no, here, it's just a show of laziness. Like, I'm glad I'm explaining the problems, but, like, I shouldn't need to explain it because the stats should just be on screen. I should be like, well, the stats just weren't ultimately able to use the attacks. That's it. That's how it should have been stuck as. But no, Scizor has Technician now. Where are my typos? Give me some typos, damn it! I want to make fun of the typos! And with every new generation, Pokemon get improved level up learn sets. You already mentioned this, plus it doesn't matter. Mentioned earlier. Yeah, As mentioned earlier, it's almost like it didn't need to be brought back up. Gee whiz, who would have seen that one coming? Sometimes, like in this case, I think in this game, Sandshrew's level up learn set's actually different from Diamond and Pearl. There's a few other mons. I know like Dialga, Palk, and Giratina are the obvious examples, right? Their entire level up learn set in Heart Gold Soul Silver is like, oh, it's all from levels 1 to 47, I think. Whereas in Diamond and Pearl, it's like every 10 levels. That's just the example. Like, come on. I shouldn't even have to be talking about the nuances because it doesn't matter because I should not be talking about this. You know, after it would normally evolve. But in Heart Gold and Soul, but in like just not editing the dialogue between everything I say is fucking abysmal. You know what, man? If people look at this video and be like, yo, dude, you kind of remind me of you know who, I wouldn't blame them if this was all they were exposed to, which is a tad bit of a problem. Let's be a little bit honest. It sucks. And this is why we waited 3 years to do it a second time. Silver, it learns it at level 17. The stutter. Now, as I mentioned how the story was too faithful to the originals, the trainer Pokemon have similar problems. And by that, we just have to look at the gym leader teams. I mean, to be fair, this is a very valid complaint to just bring up in general, like, oh, the teams are just dicks. Out of anything, I feel like it's like the most compelling argument that I bring up in the entire video, but like, man, did it really need to take this long to get to this point? You know, dude, listen, time's a very valuable asset, all right? It's very important, but nope. I'm here to make sure it's getting wasted. Like, unironically, all right? I think it'd be funny if somebody re-uploaded this video and just like did like the overstimulation bullshit, right? Like on the right side of the screen here, just load it down with Subway Surfers footage and then threw like a bunch of other bullshit over the Ho-Oh section. I'm just saying it would be more digestible that way. I'm gonna be real. Even if some of the editing just goes bye-bye, it's not like the editing was good at all in the first place. Not like I resized the text well or anything. With the exception of one Johto gym leader. Whoa. Every Pokemon on their team are the exact same in the originals. Listen, it doesn't sound like that should matter unless like I'm going in depth, right? To talk about like, wow, see, this is why Faulkner's team is complete garbage. This is why Bugsy's team is annoying. Their 2/3 just suck. But like, I'm not going in super big depth and I'm taking my time. Like, it's so abhorrently bad. Again, movesets aside, only clears and movesets aside, team has a single change in a Pokemon. Yeah, well, that, oh no, I say in the new video that that's a good change, but like, again, I'm not explaining that the other Mons are bad yet, right? I'm just saying, before I get to what makes the teams bad, that's a problem. I should be explaining the problems and then let them know that not changing them is a part of the issue. Or, at least if I'm doing it in this order, I need to blaze through it quickly so people understand. This is bad. Where she drops one of her 3 Dragonair for a Gyarados, which isn't even a dragon type. Okay, I've definitely turned around on this thought, by the way. That change needed to happen. I'm sorry, but not sorry. It's a fucking dupe. You had 3 of them. Toss it right out. And the issue here is the teams themselves. On the bright side, they're leveled a little better and have better attack. I mean, are they leveled a little bit better? Because again, if you look at the maths and you look at the next, like the new forced content, half the game just peters out and feels the exact same. I don't know, man. That's not really a point to bring up. As if anything, it looks like I'm killing my own argument if you actually look at it. But looking at the teams, you notice an issue. You gotta make sure you guys hear that sound, alright? Because it's gonna sneak in there, right? It's a problem. It's a damn problem. Anyways, Faulkner, Bugsy, Morty, and Chuck all have full teams of Pokemon from Kanto. Yeah, big problem. It's almost like I'm not gonna explain it, by the way. Now, this was an issue in Gold, Silver, and Crystal. Right, see, look, it's an issue, but do I explain why it's an issue? But it's worse than Heart Gold, Soul Silver, considering they actually could have fixed this problem. Again, it's harder to sit here and like for me to grade games on missed potential because quite literally every game has missed potential, alright? That's why I try not to like drag on those like kind of points, right? Like when I do BDSP again, I don't think I'm even gonna bring up missed potential once as an argument because it doesn't matter. You can make that argument for literally everything. You can make the missed potential argument for this video reaction, right? Like, oh, mister, why didn't you actually edit on the Subway Surfers gameplay and all that other nonsense, right? Like, we can make those kind of like debates all day, but here it's just a fumble, man. Here's a few ways they could have fixed this. Here's a few ways, almost like we should move on and explain why these teams are a problem. Faulkner could have had a Hoot Hoot in place of his Pidgey. Hoot Hoot, not Hoot Hoot. Come on now. At least gotta give myself some consistency, but that just doesn't exist, alright? Maybe. Morty could have replaced either. Could have replaced. That sounded so bad. Seriously, these aren't game-breaking changes. Oh, but listen, the game's just too afraid to be like, oh, well, this is your Pokemon, right? Like, this is Chuck's Poliwrath, right? As the footage just had on screen, right? Oh, well, they had to delay Bruno for Hitmon, like, have Hitmontop, right? That game design just sucks, by the way. Like, oh yeah, let's just delay it. Like, sure, on one hand, we're giving out, like, we're making sure these Mons have, like, a place. But on the other hand, you're making everything worse by not just doing both. By not just, like, giving both teams the Mon. With the physical special split and all these extra movesets and whatnot, they definitely could have made it work, and the Mons still feel unique. Missed potential argument again. Would be like a Mantine on Faulkner's team, but that's just bad balancing. Moving away from the Johto, I don't explain why these Mons, both being completely unaltered, right? I don't explain why that's a problem, because the Mons themselves are bad. That's like, I missed the most important point. I didn't elaborate. It's like, yeah, guys, I hope y'all know. Gee whiz, man, I hope y'all know. What thrilling times. The Kanto leaders are in the same boat. However, they get a pass on the Johto. Yeah, they get the pass on the Johto gym rule, whatever. Now, can you explain everything wrong with the teams? But looking at the teams, we see an issue. 6 of the 8 teams are the exact same. I mean, some of the teams are fine though, right? Like, I'm sitting here nitpicking the teams. Is it really an argument when only 2 of them have new Mons, right? Because that's the point I'm counting here, is like the new Mons. I'm not talking about the quality of the teams. I'm looking at, oh, only Janine and Blue had their teams changed here. Misty didn't need her team changed. It's fine. Let's just ignore some of the examples of it being good. It's just a dog pile on the game. That's literally it. Janine and Blue being the exceptions. And people would have just like not even realized that I was just saying Janine there at all, because the way I didn't make it like loud and pronounced, or I didn't say on screen Janine and Blue with edited text, right? Stuff that could have been helpful, so I don't have to like rewind to figure out, wait, what the fuck did he just say? Janine's change is more of a spit in the face, because they actually made it worse. Oh, they made the team worse. How much does that matter when they actually fix the levels? I'm sorry, man. It's better. It's an improvement. That alone pretty much invalidates the team. Like, we're going to replace, what Mon was it? It was Wheezing, right? Or was it Muck? Pretty sure they switched, like, a Wheezing out for an Ariados. That's the point here. But, like, man, why? It doesn't matter that much. Dude, how am I 43 minutes in this recording and we're only 8 minutes in the video? Swapping out one of the Mucks for a one of the Mucks. Oh, almost like that's audio that should have been recorded. Where a gym leaders team is all below level 4. I'm sorry, the text on screen right there. Like, it was just pitch black. Yeah, great text color choice, by the way. That's why I picked that, like, disgusting orange color for, like, the Diamond Pearl video onwards, so I wouldn't have issues like this. This is bad editing. Good job. But enough of the gym leaders for now. Let's focus on, again, I didn't explain the team, like, why the teams were bad, right? I don't need to keep, like, going on to that point, but, like, I bring this up focusing on the wrong aspects of the team problems. That's the big issue here. That's the takeaway. Do need to be noted. The rival's name comment. Yo, yeah. Leave one below, guys. True. But no, here's one of the things, right? You know what? No, I'll let myself get to this. But for some reason in the Burn Tower rival fight within Heart Gold and Soul Silver, they de-evolved. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. It does not matter. It's different, and that's why I mentioned it, but it does not matter. This is a complete non-point to bring up. The Haunter your rival would have at this point within Gold, Silver, and Crystal? It's a weird choice, but whatever. Whatever. Yeah, sure. It doesn't matter, guys. Whatever is basically just writing it off. If it's not good or bad, then why mention it? In the new video, right? I'm like, oh, well, this is an improvement, right? It's technically better because the physical special split changed, right? So hypothetically speaking. But here it's like, I just don't actually care, so we're gonna move on. Even in the weekly post-game rematches. Oh yeah, by the way, that weekly rematch thing. Remember what I just said about having a Mon but needing to like delay it, right? The whole Hitmontop thing with Bruno and Chuck. Yeah, that's the same difference with the rival Sneasel and Karen with her Weavile, right? They had to delay that. The rival's not allowed to have one, right? This has to be a unique Mon. And his level 50 Dragonite and Aerodactyl have legal movesets now. The legal moveset thing doesn't matter. There's no point in bringing it up. Oh. Well, all these things have different movesets. Whoa, crazy how that one works out. Red was adjusted to be even more of a hassle. 5 of his Pokemon. Text on screen. How about you show the actual fucking team? Like, I'm just getting annoyed. And I'm letting my non-stop swearing show. Guys, I swear I'm working on it, okay? I'm working on it, alright? I'm trying to make it less of a problem. And then there's also the chance for Hail to be in the battle permanently. However, you can set the clock to a certain time and then you don't have to worry about it. It doesn't matter, right? Just say that, oh, it can show up due to time. The workaround doesn't matter. Secondly, the footage on screen. Somebody forgot to turn battle animations on. Whoopsies, might be. Again, that's just like how half-assed this video is. I didn't come in here and be like, oh, I forgot to turn on battle animations. Soft reset the game, turn them on, keep going. Nope, I'm just gonna play it out. Why are the wild Pokemon so pitifully underleveled? It's a great point. But like, on the other hand, right, it would be way better if it was just argued well. Why is this a problem? Is it for grinding? Is it for using new mons that you want to pick up? No, it's just a problem. I'm sure I'm cutting myself off again, but like, good lord. Anyway, shout out to the gameplay, by the way. I didn't realize this Bronzong had heat proof. They never carry that ability, so that's so sick. You'll learn something new every day. Let's use Faulkner as an example. His highest level Pokemon is a 13. Footage! Editing the team on screen? No! Oh well. Now Bugsy's level 17 ace. Level 6-ish wild Pokemon. Again, it'd be nice to like have the math on screen, right? Hey, this is the level gap differences. Like, I didn't go this in depth with the new video because I don't really need to. The concept of trying to grind up a new mon on its own is enough of an argument. But like, oh, let's just do this for grinding now. I mean, it's still a good argument if argued right. But here I am not arguing it because I'm just slowly but surely, I'm gonna get to the point. I need you to understand that 32 at worst. Help me prep for a level 50 Dragonite. Get the music. Okay, listen, the audio balancing could have been a little bit better there. Even though in Crystal, for some reason, you can find Grabblers around level 40. Doesn't matter, but sure, let's just make that comparison. Why not? Why would it matter? What the hell ever. I'm annoyed. Thanks. Once you roll into Kanto, the postgame, might I add, level 25 is around the best you have to grind on. Literally, just go back to Victory Road. Okay, well, 25's not the most accurate levels. That's the average. I should have said, oh, this is the average, or this is the lazy answer, or this, yeah, nah. No. I'm like, no, 25 is the definitive best. Even though I'm sure if you go to the Seafoam Islands, you find 30s and whatnot. But hey, we'll ignore it. It's fine. At least Mount Silver and Cerulean Cave have the 40s range to work with for wild encounters, while you prep with Red's level 80 Pokemon. At least Pokemon Sword and Shield went off to do this best. Oh god, you can't say something good about Sword and Shield like this. Oh, grinding's a non-issue. You can find Pokemon just straight up near the gym leader's ace levels. And even in the case of Bee or Alistair, numbers on screen please, you can find wild Pokemon in Glimwo and Tangle by going up to some grass. Again, footage should be helpful of Sword and Shield. Obviously I wasn't gonna do that. All this other nonsense, what the hell ever. You can make the comparison way faster and more like understandable. I'm sorry, this is going on for too long. Despite not having the entire area opened and still find Pokemon at their aces. Oh, but you don't have the entire area opened. It doesn't matter. It does not matter if the area is opened or not. You can still do it. That point does not matter at all. This level that you can catch, they were fairly frequent in game overall. Even then, given that game's EXP mechanic makes grinding a non-issue. Again, that's the main argument I'm trying to bring up here with the game. At least I hope that was the argument I was going for. Honestly, it's hard to pay attention because how long it takes to like get to point A or to, like point F. It's bad. It's hard to stay on track with this. I'm sorry. I should have made myself more concise when making the video. Sorry, my scripting skills were complete trash and all over the place. Gee whiz, it's almost like that's why I have to organize everything, alright? See, this is what my script looks like for the new video. Look at that. Look at all of this stuff. I have this organized perfectly. Yeah, thank you, OneNote for Windows 10, by the way. Look at all this nonsense, man. All these perfectly crafted sections for the new Heart Gold Soul Silver video, obviously, I think I just said that. I would have these like color coded, okay? Let's take PMD2. I've got some of these sections, right? Oh, this section's not done yet, but others are. Whoa, look at all of that. Well, this section's completed, so it's blue. Oh, this is white because like it's not done yet. And then I look at this because it's done. Why? It's like I have all this extra organizational purposes just because of how butt-fuckingly bad this is. This is so abundantly horrible. And I know somebody mentioned it in the comments. Don't remember which video it was. It might have been the Diamond and Pearl one, the original one. But I'm like, yeah, that's a great criticism. It's a good thing I took that. And let it be known that every time I usually start out a script, I typically end up putting every little gameplay detail at the very bottom of the list. So I have every talking point all organized at the bottom so I can actually shove them into each individual section when writing. That was not present at all here, and I need to make sure it's abundantly clear. There is more, and that PMD2 example was not good enough. Pokemon Black and White 1 had Pokemon well leveled in the wild, and even featured one. It doesn't matter. Why is Black and White being brought up, man? That would give more XP when you take it out. Doesn't matter. Chansey does the same thing, but it's just rare. Who fucking cares? Even then, the second gym in those games have an ace of 20. Yeah, going one route over, you can find level 17-ish Pokemon. Not level 6. I mean, it's a good comparison, right? See, it's a good comparison because in this game's case, you fight more trainers between the two gyms than you do in Black and White 1. It's assumed you would, but I don't make that point. I'm like, oh, the level gaps are just like, here's the 2 level gaps. It's not even really talking that much about the context. Here's one gap, here's the other. Better in this example over here. Heart Gold and Soul Silver, without a shadow of a doubt, is the worst in the series regarding leveling. Sorry, I was gonna say something there, but I got assaulted by an ad. Actually, 2 of them. Whoopsies, maybe I should never put ads in this video. Wow, crazy concept, man. Anyway, what was my point again? I already forgot. Without a shadow of a doubt, is the worst in the series regarding leveling. Oh, right, leveling, right. I mean, it's really not, though. It's the worst in the series, but that's only because I'm making that argument because it's a remake. It's worse because it could have been fixed. Like, not even Gold and Silver. Yellow's is worse because that game's level curve is complete cheeks. No, I'm like, oh no, Heart Gold Soul Silver's got it the worst because they didn't fix it. Oh, no. Like, let's be generous here. Heart Gold Soul Silver's level curve is better than Yellow. Let's be real. It's a generous statement, but it's also a true one. Because these are remakes. They easily could have fixed this, but decided not to. So, again, the footage on screen being repeated. The topic of battles, let's just look at the quality of Pokemon available in this game. I don't think this point really matters. Like, a lot of the fun in Pokemon is just like making anything work from anything, right? Like, what makes Giraffe Rig so fun in this game is how effective it can be for the 4th gym if you go and grab it, right? Finding and min-maxing the mons is what makes like a lot of these games fun. I don't think that point matters when trying to find quality. It really should not be brought up. Oh, there are so many bad mons in Johto. There's a lot of Kanto mons. They help fix the issue. They help fix it. Regional Pokédex. We have 10 Generation 4 evolutions for Johto Kanto Pokemon that are just absent for main story use. 3 of them are just straight up unobtainable, period. Again, these would be nice things to have numbers on the screen for, but no, we don't. Without trading from Diamond, Pearl, or Platinum. Yeah. Add that extra little stipulation there. Again, that's a very important detail to have at least somewhere in there, right? Oh, here's just completely inaccessible mons, right? If you're gonna shit on Heart Gold Soul Silver, you always gotta make sure it's at least included somewhere. At least I got that part right. Meaning, excluding those 10, only 5 are available during the Johto portion of the game. Whoa, no way, there's mons on screen. Guys, are you seeing that? Holy frick, dude, no way. Anyway, that's actually why in the new footage, I brought a Mamoswine and Ambipom through the game because those were new mons. Listen, it's very important that they're there. And like, why aren't the new baby Pokemon listed in the game's regional Pokédex? Because you can't get their items at this point. They should be there, but they're not. You want Mantike showing up? I got unfortunate news. Its item is nowhere near that point in the game. It's Kanto exclusive, man. Come on now. Now, looking at some Pokemon that are now attainable during... Yo, Prime sub, question mark the Fanfi. Hey, guys, if y'all have Twitch Prime, by the way, you can go to my Twitch in the description and go drop one of those for free. For free? It's not like you're going to use it anyways. Make sure you see if you got one and give me some free money. Okay, so see any issue here. Well, I do appreciate that these extra few Pokemon see any issue here, but I appreciate this thing here. The problem is
only half of those 6 are from Johto.
Again, that part really just doesn't matter. The problem that I'm trying to like point out here is that it's not all the Johto mons, right? There's no Houndour there. There's no Slugma, even though technically Slugma's available in Johto. It's just arguing, like, it feels like semantics at this point, but I definitely know that's not the right word. Oh, it sucks. It's bad.
There's no reason to even use them. And since
there is reason to use them because they're different. But generally speaking, you just want to use it.
And since Larvitar evolved super late, you're just gonna have to overlevel for Lance, making it a cakewalk because you already have Tyranitar. You don't overlevel, and you still have a Pupitar.
Okay, to be fair, I've not actually finished my Heart Gold Soul Silver video. I have like the main script done and whatnot for the Heart Gold Soul Silver video. At no point do I mention that point right there. Dragonite and Larvitar not being able to be fully evolved by the time you reach Lance. Maybe it'd be a good idea to add that in. Okay, hold me up to see if that happens.
I actually feel like fair addition to the game's main...
It doesn't matter. Oh, they feel like fair addition. It doesn't matter. And then I'm like, oh, hey, here's Kangaskhan, but it's bad because it's outclassed. It does things differently. It's fine.
And on one quick note for version exclusives, Heart Gold actually has 2 more, thanks to Mantike and Gliscor.
Another point that I have not brought up, and we'll probably have to slide into the edited version of the new video. Thanks, little retrospective here going on. Maybe I'll try to include those. All right, sorry, I had to put that in my notes. Anyways.
Should you actually still have the Pokewalker accessory that came with the game's launch?
Lamau! Look at that, he went on Google Images and grabbed the Pokewalker instead of like pulling one out and using it for recording. Listen, guys, soon. I'm going outside soon, all right? Trust me, it's happening, all right? That Chikorita's going to get some exercise.
It can also be used before the post-game.
Oh, wow. I wonder if Slugma can be used before the post-game. Uh-oh, looks like somebody didn't do their research well enough and didn't bring it up.
And for whatever reason,
it doesn't matter that they're bad. It doesn't matter. You can make them work. Me win the Black 2, White 2 Delibird footage, all right? It doesn't matter. It's fine. It's a non-point.
Shove Ho-Oh or Lugia into the main story of the game last minute to inflate the amount of time you're going to spend playing it.
Again, pointing out the filler's fine. It's just not organized very well. This probably should have just been like, I don't know, in the story section, in the section about the region. Oh wait, those were the same section. How could I have made that mistake in forgetting that? Maybe.
And then when you're in Kanto, Mewtwo, Articuno, Moltres, and Zapdos.
Okay, like I'm sitting here talking about these 4 right here, like the new legendaries. That's cool. Are you gonna mention Latios and Latios, or I don't know, any of the hundreds of new mons that from like Hoenn and Sinnoh that are also available in Kanto? No, you're not gonna do that. Damn, that sucks, dude. Gee whiz, man, what a complete disaster. Why don't I make that same point for Kabuto and Ammonite? They weren't there before obtainable, or Charmander and friends. But nah. Let's just bring it up for those guys. Why not? Sure.
Featuring Tailo, Burmy, Cherubi via Headlights.
Again, I put that text on screen. It's like, it's a decent point, but that point would not need to be made if I just clarified what makes the wild encounters in the game so bad, right? Elaborating why that struggle of trying to make them work is just so frustrating. Yo, you want this Tailo? Well, congrats. It's like lower than level 10. Could have been argued. The point could have been decent, but no.
You'll probably be running like a team of 3 for the whole game. So onto the...
Gee, I wonder why we're running a team of 3 for the entire game. Almost like I could elaborate the whole leveling problem and why that's a catalyst for that point. Just some thoughts, all right? The points are there, but they're not elaborated on why it's an issue or how we get to that problem.
You'll notice the game corner.
Pause.
It was only changed for the international releases.
I'm glad I at least point out the difference between the 2 versions, by the way, the old Japanese and the others. For some reason, I didn't feel like I mentioned that at all. But hey, look guys, I'm the smartest person there ever was. /J, alright?
And an unattended side effect to losing the slot machines.
Again, this is like a valid complaint that I've brought up in most videos since this one, but man, it's just so slow and there's just been so many non-arguments in this. Why do you even care to listen to the rest of this out? Like, genuinely.
As they literally force you to play the game now. Since they changed the slot machines out, I guess we can mention Voltorb Flip.
Any ounce of footage would be extremely helpful in this situation, but...
So, the next thing to mention is the Pokeathlon Dome. To shorten this place down, It's a mini.
Gee, almost like there should have been Pokeathlon footage on the screen. But I say that knowing damn well the Pokeathlon was the last bit of footage I ever got to record before the save file that was used in this footage here got corrupted. So you know what? Maybe I shouldn't talk. Maybe it was the right thing for me to avoid using the Pokeathlon at all, alright? Because maybe that actually put a few more years into that Heart Gold save. I hate it so much.
Featuring 9 good mini games and Goal Roll.
I think actually it's 8 good mini games featuring Goal Roll and Pennant Capture. Just gonna point that out.
To get evolutionary stones.
Again, it's just so much explaining other stuff instead of like trying to explain those features in the video. And I don't even think I bring this up in the new video at all, but like, man, maybe I'll, you know what, dude, screw it. That's another thing to write down on my notes. Hey, yo, yeah. Just in case, you never know. But yeah, this right here, gross. Yikes, this looks abysmal. I'm sorry, this is tragic.
Which is the Safari Zone, featuring changes. Most notably, it doesn't kick you out anymore after you take 500 steps.
And I gotta unpause this again because the Safari Zone step counter was mentioned, and I didn't have that on my own already noted down, and I don't think it's in the script anywhere. So, hey, look, this is being useful for some retrospect stuff to add more details, all right? See, something I'm actually willing to do. Go back and, like, re-record stuff that probably does not need to be there, that'll only exist to make things more annoying in editing. Maybe the Johto section of the game specifically can be 20 minutes long. Whatever.
However, you have to do little mini quests. And by that,
oh yeah, you gotta unlock the features, guys. That's the big boogeyman. Oh no. Again, something else not mentioned in the new video, and honestly, I'm not gonna add that to the notes, dude. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Uh-oh, you have to unlock the features? Oh no, guys. Did you guys know that this is going to make the game unplayable?
If you seriously see this as an issue, then you are just nitpicking far too much.
Why is it being mentioned if it's not an issue? And why am I projecting the nitpicking? I am projecting. I have been nitpicking the ever-living hell out of most of the points in this video. That's the biggest problem, right? I have poisoned the well with the Heart Gold Soul Silver discourse with how shitty this video is. Just flat out. Look at the points I'm making and look how minuscule they are in the grand scheme of things.
He just straight up copy-pasted the Battle Frontier from Platinum. Literally no changes. Which seems fine until you worry about the Pokemon timeline.
Ah, yes, the Pokemon timeline. Nobody cares about that, and this is just a throwaway joke, by the way. This is me attacking the Zelda fan base for caring about their timeline way more than it matters for their games that are supposed to be their own standalone things until they eventually got forced into a timeline that just did not ever need to be a thing. I was sitting there and I was like annoyed by it. So yeah, let's throw in a funny joke about the Pokemon timeline that does not matter whatsoever in the slightest. Sure, man.
Fine until you worry about the Pokemon timeline and how we can have these tower tycoons at 2 regions at once.
So fucking funny. Why is that it's just such a dumb joke, and people are going to take it seriously because I'm making it sound serious despite it being an obvious joke. My delivery is so serious about it that it makes you wonder, well, is he being dead ass? Is he being real? Who knows? Like, there's no editing on screen to help give away that I'm joking, right? There's no assisted anything,
and the game makes no sense because of that. But listen,
I'm sorry, that and the game makes no sense because that's fucking funny. Like, that entire train of thought just got funnier each time something was said. I'm sorry. It was a good joke for me, but it's not like it's one that needed to exist. Damn.
It's not Buttercup. You already know how Nintendo IPs can't have functional timelines.
That's exactly me calling out the Zelda timeline directly.
Just look at that hot mess The Legend of Zelda has become.
The games are fine. Well, if you asked me in 2021, I would have said that. But you know the games are actually not fine. Let me tell you about how much I don't like The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, alright? I'm not going to tell y'all why. I have a VOD channel that shows all my suffering of those games. Go watch it there. Go watch every ounce of it in its entirety. And you can watch my non-stop comparisons to Sticker Star, wherever they lie. That's it. But like, again, I'm putting text on screen about the Zelda timeline being actual nonsense as if it matters. It doesn't.
Trying to connect those individual independent games
again, stop
to one another. Anyways, back to Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
It should have just been on Heart Gold Soul Silver. I didn't need to explain the whole timeline thing. All I had is just leave the punchline and not let the joke overstay its welcome. But guess what I did, guys? I let the joke overstay its welcome.
As mentioned earlier, Cerulean Cave, Viridian Forest, now exists again.
Oh, gee, man, I'm so glad I have to bring these points back up. That they're back. Whoa, spooky.
And the Seafoam Islands are now more than one room.
This should have been mentioned when I said they came back. There is no point to mention them twice, much less not have these mentioned at the only time they showed up in the video. This is just horrible. I regret to inform myself that I'm talking about this in the quantity over quality section, which is supposed to be the whole feature stuff, right? And let it be known, there is so much missing, including good features like the berry pots and whatnot. So, I don't know, man. It's almost like I'm deliberately leaving out decent features. Damn.
They did change that one house in Viridian City.
Oh, wow, but I bring up the battle house. Dude, who cares?
But it only works if you and somebody else actually have one.
It just sounds so bad, man. This is why you actually edit your audio. Remember to do that.
So Mount Silver also got an entire redesign.
Again, that should have been mentioned way sooner. Why is Mount Silver being brought up now?
In this extra cave lost somewhere on Route 47. For some reason, you can't do this until you get the free Kanto starter from Professor Oak after you beat Red. And for
Doesn't matter.
a few finishing notes, you can actually re-battle gym leaders this time around.
Finishing note, by the way. This very important feature that should have been in the last section is just a finishing note. Oh.
And after defeating Red, the E4 also gets improved teams, meaning that Lance has a team that no longer gets walked all over by Rock Type.
And I find it funny because I mentioned this. You unlock the E4 round 2 from beating Red. I don't actually know if that's true. I don't know if you have to get it by beating Red or by doing the Dragon's Den rival fight or whatever, right? I don't know the exact unlock. And I'm talking so unbelievably confidently, right? Without a single ounce of research on that specific point. And I will call it out right now. At no point did I fact check that because I still do not know if what time, like when you get it.
The addition of Cameron the Photographer was a waste and unnecessary.
But why?
They straight up...
Oh, there's no point. It's just unnecessary, which technically could be true because it provides nothing of gameplay value. But guess what? I didn't say a damn thing about it because it's a non-point.
changed the female protagonist.
Who cares?
So there's this new shiny leaf mechanic, and it does nothing.
I mean, at least it was shown off. That's good. Probably should have been the actual gameplay in question instead of random Elite 4 footage. But sure, dude, you know what? I'll give myself that. I actually showed something of relevance on screen. Bravo.
Besides, count as a star for the trainer card for some reason. So there was this event.
I'm like being superstitious all over like the smallest details, like not going in depth on so much. And I'm like, oh yeah, but the trainer card star, right? In the new video, I'm allowed to call out the trainer card star thing because like it's over a damn hour, like 10 minutes, man. There's so much in this 21 minutes that I've sat through. There's been so little, much less so much little depth. The most important part, just it's not there. It's not there. I don't really have an excuse to talk about like the very small things, like a feature that does almost nothing. Okay, I'm sitting here talking on about the event Giratina. If I recall correctly, Pichu makes no appearance in this. So, yo, bro, what are you doing, buddy? What are you cooking? Because it smells like you're burning the food, and you're not just burning it, you're walking away while it just sits there and burns the house down.
To obtain the Grisius Orb within the game.
Oh my god, he put it on screen! Now only if you put it in the gameplay. Holy frick.
And somehow during the original scripting for this video, I completely forgot to mention Pokemon following.
You forgot so much in the original scripting of this video, like actually elaborating on anything brought up. No, guys, I forgot to mention Pokemon following you, the most important feature the game has to offer. Oh no. Oh god.
A minor addition that became known as this game's identity. For some.
That's not the game's identity. You know what is the game's identity? Kanto. Anyway, more nicknames on screen. Hit Pokemon comments, because I gave it the same name as the fucking rival. Genius on my part, man. You know, what little time I spent recording, I have to reuse a nickname. Gee, man, I'm so proud of myself for pulling that one off. Notification just wouldn't fit, so you know what? Sure, man. Turn on that notification bell so you never miss an upload. And then, of course, Discord, because we have a Discord server. Whoa, crazy. That I never plug.
It ended up as the community's most requested returning feature for games to come, despite the fact it doesn't improve the actual experience, unlike when this mechanic returns in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee,
I love how the Wow Funny Electrode footage gets put on screen after it matters. Because I'm like, oh, but Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. That's when the footage shows up. Really?
Sadly, this feature wasn't able to be turned off during Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Even after you've done literally everything, you cannot turn it off.
Okay.
In Sword and Shield, you can actually toggle it so you can turn it off if it gets distracting or you just can't see in the wild area.
Eternatus isn't even that big though. Like, get a much better camera shot, man. What is you doing?
However, there is a bonus to talking to the Pokemon you have following you.
And it's nothing of value, so why bring it up?
For some reason, the dress-up minigame returns. You know, minus the minigame part.
It doesn't matter. Why am I talking about half this stuff? Like, instead of bringing up anything of value, I'm like, oh, here's a bunch of stuff that does nothing or is bad. I'm doing such a great job.
So,
I forgot about several minor things. Look in the comments regarding the Pal Park, GB Sounds, Berry Pots with a typo! Yes, there's 3 R's, let's go! And something regarding the Pokemon Ranch WiiWare, which I don't think I actually mentioned in the comments. Ooh, oh, I forgot all this. So instead of adding to the video, let's just throw it in on some text that nobody's gonna read. The sheer laziness.
I think it's time for the closing statement.
Dude, I'm sorry. This stuff bothered me so much where I'm willing to like write down notes partway into this reaction, right? To where I'm like, yo, okay, I'm not done with my current Heart Gold Soul Silver video, but hey, here's some things I may have forgotten to mention or actually did forget to mention. We're gonna take some stuff away. I'm already going back and adding things after the fact. And you can hear it in my voice sometimes in the recordings where I definitely sound quite a bit different. And then I go back to being the way I was talking. So it's like, you can hear when I'm actually adding some of the stuff most of the time. But hot damn, at no point in these did I try that for so long. I don't know when I started doing it, but I would assume it was, I know it was after PLA. I couldn't tell you when though.
Too faithful.
Oh yeah, the big 2 words to say, by the way, too faithful. Doesn't show them on screen.
While these games brought the original experience of Gold and Silver into the modern light, they kept the games too close to the originals. Ultimately, this allows the biggest flaws of Gold, Silver, and Crystal to still bleed through onto these definitive experiences.
So little, man. I barely do any form of summary, by the way. I find the summaries a little bit hard to like drag on sometimes, but like there's no mention of goods. There were no mention of goods other than, oh, but they modernized it. It's just so disingenuous.
In debatable terms, the amount of content is kind of unreal.
True.
To be fair, they did do one thing definitively best than any other games, and that is the method in which you shiny hunt the starters. Now,
guys, the thing Heart Gold Soul Silver did better than any game was making the starters easy to shiny. It's such a fucking travesty when I'm using a joke as the thing the game does definitively better than anything else. Well, one of my biggest takeaways is not only the sheer amount of content, is in regards to its like perspective of, oh, you're growing over a long, expansive game, you know? Like, yeah, dude, that's the biggest takeaway, unironically. They make the adventure feel like it's got more growth going on. But here, no, shiny hunting, man. Hell yeah. Again, I was pretty big in streaming shiny hunting on Twitch back at the time, so like, yeah, I could see why I'd just like slide that in there, but come on, it doesn't need to be mentioned at all.
you can see whether or not any of the 3 will be shiny before actually grabbing one.
And then I explained the joke. Great. I'm glad it doesn't land.
Probably wondering where this game is getting ranked, right? Like out of 10 or something? Well, despite all the good I might have talked up for a while, I cannot lie and say the goods outshadow the negatives here.
I mean,
The final verdict.
oh no.
Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver, with its ups and downs, clocks in with a score of 4.5.
Again, this is me just assuming, like, let's just take like the average IGN scores, right? Just slap a 7 out of 10 on every game that's not like a fucking Zelda game or Mario, right? Where you have to give those a 10 out of 10, right? That's the way I was plugging the scores in. You look at me in modern day now, like, this is supposed to be negative, right? If you look at it now, yeah, dude, anything from like regular 4 to like 2 is just mid, and all the bads like 2 and lower. Little did I know the 4.5 is a decently accurate score in my current modern day perspective, but holy hell, how did I get to this point? I guess we'll never know because I didn't explain it very well, did I? Whatever.
Out of 10. below average.
Below average. I regret to say that it is average. That was a travesty. That sucked. The hefty amount of people who left a dislike were honestly onto something. Congrats, gentlemen. I think we're gonna leave it there. Don't get me wrong. I would love to sit through and like dig through all the comments. So we're not gonna do that. But yeah, congrats to us. This is what people are gonna remember me for, is this travesty. Oh boy. Anyways, fellas, thank you all for joining me on this reaction here, where I get to rehash a bunch of the same talking points that I had when I sat down and like reacted to some of this other nonsense, right? When I'm sitting here reacting to these other videos, right? All of these goods. Look at all this junk, man. Thank you all for watching me here, by the way. Yeah, totally. If y'all liked this and you came from the main channel, when I plug this community tab or whatever, content, man, you got content, all right? Anyways, I think that's enough, and I think we're gonna leave it there. The closing statement for that video, it was bad.